Welcome to Politics Done Right on KPFT. I am your host, Egberto Williams. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Give me a call at 713-526-5738. That is 713-526-KPFT. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Williams. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Williams, your host. Thank you very much for giving me this 1 hour of your time. We hope to earn every single second of it. Shannon, how are you doing today?
It's a great day. I'm enjoying it.
Yes, but
it was crazy raining yesterday. Oh my gosh, that was torrential rainfall.
Yeah, but I have a little beef with you a little bit. Just a tiny little bit.
What is it?
You weren't as peppy today as you normally are
I know.
peppy. Were you tired a little bit?
Actually, I was feeling under the weather yesterday, but I woke up today feeling back at it again.
So we need to give you that injection of peppiness again.
I do. Bring it.
We're going to bring it on. But you know what? Listen, man. Today we are going... first of all, folks, remember this is a call-in show, 713-526-5738. Again, that is 713-526-5738. Today we will be speaking about guns, safety, open carry, and that special word, privilege. Mm-hmm. There is so much happening in this country around guns and the damage it is affecting not only physically but emotionally. It's ripping at the fabric of our democracy. Some of my good friends aren't going to like that because I said it's ripping at our democracy. But you know what? It's a free country and we can talk about it, folks. While many misinterpret the Second Amendment, lives are being lost. Very few are willing to control the NRA and what it really represents. A bully backed by armed and many that are misled with plausible misinformation. But, Shannon,
yes.
Before I get busy, some special thank yous
All
I
right,
must
let's
give.
hear it.
So let's
hear
talk
it.
about it. I want to give a big thank you to several people who have been very generous to Politics Done Right and KPFT 90.1. So let's start. Let's get busy.
Thank you.
Here it is. Alice Lively is a new member from Kingwood, Texas.
Yay, Alice.
And she gave us a very generous contribution.
Ooh, thank you so much. That's helping us stay on the air and stay strong.
Absolutely. Gary Binderim, a friend of mine, a returning member from Kingwood, Texas, gave us a very generous donation contribution
so
as
nice.
well. And we have a returning member, Augustine Gauna from Houston, Texas, gave us a very, very generous contribution.
Thank you, Aggie.
And John Cotter, a new member from Kingwood, Texas, gave us a very generous contribution. So, folks,
thank you so much.
Without you, we would not be on air.
We really wouldn't.
Absolutely not. We are one of the last bastions of this, of unadulterated free speech information that you can get here on our airwaves in Houston, Texas, and North and Southeast Texas. So we need you to continue to support us. In as much as we're no longer in that mini fund drive, I want to ask you, every time you're listening here, when you have a few of those pennies that you can give, go to our website at kpft.org and contribute, because this is your station. Keep it on air because we are here for you. We need you to be here for us. But before I get to the program, I want to remind all our listeners that KPFT is a bastion of intelligent voices and programs. As a political activist, my favorites are the following: The Monitor with Mark Bebawi on Mondays at 7 p.m. Think Wing Radio with Mike Honig on Mondays at 9 p.m. Partisan Gridlock.
And he'll be back tomorrow.
And he'll
for
be
the
back.
First time in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
So it'll be nice to have him back. I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Yes, he will. Partisan Gridlock with Jeff Berg on Fridays at 3 p.m. And, of course, we have Jazz Latino, Afro-Cuban Latin Jazz at its best. Hosted by the one and only Juan Flores on Mondays at 10 p.m. Now, folks, I have some other shows that I like as well. I haven't been able to put those out yet, but I will have those in the blog shortly. Check out our full schedule at kpft.org, where you can find programming from music to politics to medicine to the eclectic. KPFT is listener-supported public community radio. So please remember that if you like what you hear, visit kpft.org and ensure that we remain a strong, viable community radio station that provides news, programming, and information not influenced by the corporatocracy. This is KPFT 90.1 FM in Houston, Texas. We want to hear your voice. We want to hear your thoughts. Let's talk. I will also be following our hashtag Politics Done Right on Twitter, Egberto Willies. So please, if you want to tell me something, I'm right here on the screen as well. I can see you, Politics Done Right hashtag. Well, folks, you can listen to the live stream or listen to the podcast, the vlogcast. Go to our post at politicsdoneright.com and get all that information. And, of course, you can call in at 713-526-5738. But guess what time it is?
It's time for the weekly blog post.
First of all, the title of the blog of the week is Let's Be Real About Guns, Safety, Open Carry, and Privilege. Guns are always a touchy issue. My good friend is in here with me as well, in the studio with us.
We know it's touchy.
Jacob is a military dude.
Yeah,
he
and
went
I'm on
out
the
there.
other side of
Absolutely.
that whole issue.
And
altogether.
he defended our country, and I don't think he necessarily agrees with what I'm going to say, but the reason I'm prefacing the blog of the week with that statement is to tell folks that in as much as we are going to disagree, some of us, on guns, we have to leave the door open for compromise in order for us to go forward. Before I read the blog, I see Jacob at the mic. You want to say something real quick before I do the blog?
Not yet. I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say. I'm almost certainly going to disagree with it.
Yes, and that's fine.
You're still my friend.
Of course.
And you still will be my friend.
Absolutely.
And I love you too, Jacob.
But this is important. This is very important. Here it goes. Guns do not make America safer. No other developed country on earth has a higher per capita gun-related homicide rate than the United States. That is a fact. In fact, the United States rate is 4 times that of both Turkey and Switzerland. Both of these countries are tied for third. If that isn't enough, there are certain realities that Second Amendment-loving enthusiasts don't tell. Here they go. People with access to more guns tend to kill more people with guns. States with higher gun ownership rates have higher gun murder rates, as much as 114% higher than states with lower gun ownership rates. A recent study looking at 30 years of homicide data found that for every 1% increase in a state's gun ownership rate, there is a nearly 1% increase in firearm homicides rate. Gun death rates are generally lower in states with restrictions such as safe storage requirements or assault weapon bans. Owning a gun has been linked to higher risks of homicide, suicide, and accidental death by gun. In 2014, according to FBI data, nearly 8 times more people were shot and killed in arguments than by civilians trying to stop a crime. In 2013, more than 5 times more women were shot by husbands, boyfriends, and ex-partners than murdered by male strangers. A woman's chances of being killed by her abuser increase more than 5 times if he has access to a gun. One study found that women in states with higher gun ownership rates were 9 times more likely to be murdered by a gun than women in states with lower gun ownership rates. After Australia effected gun control after a 1996 massacre, homicide rates fell by 59%. Folks, I'll continue the blog in a second, but those are just statistical facts. Those are simply the numbers. Here now are my thoughts. As President Obama tries to institute some minimal controls, the NRA and right-wing Republicans continue to choose policies that enhance gun sales and profits over life, humanity, and the well-being of society. What gives? The reality of stats means little. It is all about a false ideology subliminally imposed on the masses in order for a few to profit. Open carry became the law in the state of Texas in 2016. Inasmuch as there was a lot of consternation with the effecting of this law, the reality is that Texas is actually late to the game. There were 44 states that allowed open carry before Texas. The only sensible states left are California, Florida, New York, Illinois, and South Carolina. South Carolina, imagine that. What is the purpose of open carry? Is it to intimidate? Is it a deterrent? Is it a manifestation of low self-esteem? Is it a manifestation of inadequacy? Is it an anti-government stance? Is it a libertarian ideological exercise? The answer may be all of the above, though deterrence in the aggregate may be debatable. A real criminal will come a guns a-blazing if he or she wants what the open carrying gun-toting individual has. It is a fact that research shows that right to carry is linked to increased violent crime, period. Extrapolating that to open carry should not be difficult and is likely forthcoming. While it is fact that our gun-touting culture is a clear and present danger to society at large, the reality is for some that danger is even greater. People of color do not get the benefit of the doubt. Ohio is an open carry state. One would expect that police officers in an open carry state would give any gun-touting person the benefit of the doubt before unleashing their ballistic might on said person. But Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old black boy with a pellet gun, was not given that benefit. He was given less than 2 seconds. He was shot in less than 2 seconds. The ruling? The officer feared for his life and shooting was justified. John Crawford III, the young black man that was gunned down in a Walmart while inspecting a pellet gun, was not given the benefit of the doubt. Gun-touting white motorcycle gang members shooting up each other were not met with the National Guard in Waco, Texas, but were leisurely arrested after the killing massacre. For the second time in as many years, the Bundys and their armed terrorists were appeased by government in Burns, Oregon. So, as many continue to promote their Second Amendment rights, it is important to note that it means something very different to different people. In a society where a police officer has the legal right to kill if he and or she fears for their lives, whether justified or not, the evidence shows that people of color have the right but not the same privilege to carry a weapon. In a society where the average citizen and vigilante can stand their ground even if that ground isn't theirs to stand on, and kill innocent people of color without the fear of imprisonment, open carry and concealed carry to many are a clear and present danger. In a society where a government allows white terrorists the benefit of the doubt and the ability to challenge we the people, while unarmed people of color who protest gun violence are met with military action, the Second Amendment to those, the Second Amendment to us, means absolutely and categorically nothing. Folks, this is a call-in show. Whether you agree or disagree, please give me a call. With all due respect, you will be respected. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. I want to hear your points of view. Whatever you think about guns, whether you agree with me or not, I think until we can have this honest discussion about guns, we are going nowhere, but we do need it given the carnage that is occurring in this country and in no other country in the civilized world. 713-526-5738. Lines are wide open. Let's go to Michael in line numero uno. Michael, come on in, my brother.
Hey, sir. How are you today?
I'm okay, my friend. Talk to me.
Hey, listen, just got a good earful from you.
Yes, sir.
Some of the statistics you gave me were a bit surprising. I really didn't think that Texas was the 44th state to enact any kind of open carry. That alone surprises me. But when we talk about the gun industry, we have to talk about the NRA. The NRA has become, and I'm going to use this word, radicalized, like some other issues in this country or in this world that we have been talking about a lot lately.
Yes, sir.
They need to be somehow, in a proactive, meaningful, and uplifting way, they need to be regulated and controlled, just like a lot of other industries, to protect not just the rights of corporations to sell weapons, but to protect people that have to live in the society where those guns are present.
Absolutely.
You know, one person doesn't have the brain trust to fix this kind of issue.
Right.
It's going to really take the abundance mentality. Because, if you think about this country, they needed guns in the old days to actually hunt for food. Well, you know what? We don't need to really do that anymore. Do we have an industry where people like to hunt? Sure. Should we protect the rights for those people to go out and shoot squirrels and kill rabbits and, hunt ducks? Yeah. But do we need AR-15s that can create mass destruction in large populated areas like we've seen recently? I don't think so. I mean, there has to be a certain amount of common sense that we apply to the gun industry and to the lobby industry, because the lobby industry doesn't really do anything for us that's positive, meaningful, or uplifting. That's why they have to lobby for it, because we know it's not the right thing to do. It's the perfect example that I can think of to reform the lobby laws that we have in this country. We have gotten so crazy and so liberalized with how we conduct things, all for the sake of making money. It's absolutely simple, man.
I am so happy that you were the first caller to come in, Michael, because it is one of the most sensible calls I've had. I've had other gun control shows before. I think it's one of the most sensible and straightforward calls I have gotten on this issue. Nobody wants to take away folks' rights to have guns, to do things that, that they want to do, hunting, etc. But when it comes to people, when it comes to open carry, when it comes to being in a restaurant and having somebody next to you with a gun. I mean, I live in Kingwood, Texas. There was a restaurant where a woman went on a Sunday, I think it was a Sunday or some day in the week to have dinner. And somebody who, at that time, concealed carry was what we had in Texas only. And this person had a concealed carry gun, and the gun fell out of his being, and it went off, and it shot her, and the rest of her life was changed. I've sent us having concealed weapon carry and that sort of thing, where there are places where guns really, in a lot, establishments should be able to say, I don't want a gun in here. If somebody's coming, I'll put it bluntly, I am supporting no company, no organization that allows guns in their being, on their premises. And the reason why is I don't necessarily trust the other person with the gun. My good friend here in the studio, Jacob, thinks differently, but I respect him with his gun. I don't have a problem being around him with a gun, but there are very few Jacobs around. Everybody wants to have a gun, but everybody doesn't want to be trained like Jacob. So before we go to traffic, I just want to give Jacob a little time to say a little something before he comes, because he's been at that mic for a while. Come on in, Jacob.
Yeah, I don't. I understand your point on open carry. I actually wrote something about that earlier last year in Free Press Houston, essentially kind of saying it's going to be okay. I mean, two bills, specifically open and campus carry, two bills you really don't need to worry about in an otherwise hostile legislature. And I talked to a buddy of mine who's also a police officer, and I kind of agree with him that it's when it comes to open carry. You might have, your various dirtbags who might do it to make a point, but by and large, I think it's going to have a negligible impact, because when you carry openly, you make yourself a target. You bring attention to yourself. I think. I don't know how many people carry.
I don't disagree with you at all, Jacob. My thing about it is you just have to be that one that falls. That's the only thing. But like Shannon needs to go do her weather, and for all the folks that are on hold right now, our lines are full right now, I'm coming to you. So please hang with us. I want to hear your point of view. Come on in, Shannon.
All right. Thank you very much, Egberto. All right. First, it is 72 degrees and scattered clouds here in the heart of Montrose. Partly cloudy skies. It'll be about tonight. It'll be a few passing clouds with a low of 53 degrees. When we look further in the forecast, it will be considerably cloudy tomorrow with a 20% chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms and a high of 70 degrees. Let's take a quick look at traffic around town. It's fairly clear at the moment. No accidents to report, but slow going on the West Loop in both directions from around Forness to the Katy Freeway. And you're tapping on the brakes on the Southwest Freeway inbound from Shepherd to the Gulf Freeway. And that's it for the moment. So enjoy those free roadways. That's your Houston area weather and traffic. I'm Shannon McCurchie, and you are listening to Politics Done Right on KPFT Houston.
Muchísimas gracias, Miss Shannon. Okay, Michael, do you have a quick one to finish up with so I can go to the next caller?
Yeah, I sure do. And it's really a comment or a commentary for the kind of negative reactions that President Obama has gotten for his latest initiative to rein in this senseless violence with guns. And please pardon my pun, but is it the magic bullet that's going to fix this whole thing? I don't think so. But it may be the genesis to get us moving to change the paradigm that we all think with.
Well
there
said.
has to be something started. We have to create some kind of movement or initiative forward to get this under control. We cannot sell semi-automatic weapons
Michael,
to the public, please.
It's candy.
Michael, thank you very much. Those are present words, and thank you for bringing those thoughts in, Michael. Okay, let's go to line number 2. Let's go to Bill. Come on in, Bill.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make several points.
Sure.
One, I agree with your caller.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get a movement with those of us who actually are not insane in regards to the Second Amendment and these guns. And we need to fight these guys because we have such a violent history and culture. I think that really does play a part and contributes to why people have such a desire for these guns. It's just sheer insanity. And the NRA has so much influence on the politicians that, it is so ingrained in Washington, D.C., we have to also influence them, And I think another issue with this would be the fact that how are you going to tell the good guys from the bad guys who are out here walking around with automatic weapons and handguns?
Exactly, and how do the police react to it when they see that gun?
And besides, we live in such a volatile society. I mean, look at all of the mass shootings and the killings. That doesn't seem to move any of these people in this country. I don't understand.
Well, let me tell you, Bill. Let me tell you one of the things. And I am going to be a little bit more benign towards those that are really NRA centric in saying that the NRA has the money to work on the psychological push points on people. And that is what happens. There's a psychological push point that works on people where it tells them, when Obama said, I want to be able to protect you, to them it says, I want to take your guns away. That's what they're hearing. So what I'm telling folks like you, Bill, and Michael, who's called before, etc., is before we simply call these friends of ours, these neighbors of ours, these brothers and sisters of ours insane, what we do is we try to we try to let them answer the questions. Because what happens is a lot of times we're telling them things and the NRA is informing them with things. We need to we need to encourage them to think on their own, because you and I, Michael, and a lot of these callers that are going to come in, or some of them may disagree, but we know that we are on the right side of the issue. The problem is, how do we allow or encourage others on the other side to feel comfortable to listen, and in that process be able to think things through themselves, as opposed to hearing when Obama says, I want to have background checks, to sound like, I want to monitor you and take your guns away. You see, that's what they're hearing. He's not saying that. That is what they're hearing. And that is what you and I and all the other folks that want sensible gun policies, that is what we have to try to break through. And what we have to do is, on programs like these, be active and allow space for those other people to hear as well. Bill?
But if I may make one more point.
Yes, sir.
And I want to challenge your comment about what they're hearing.
Yes.
Unless you have a defect in your hearing, how could you possibly be hearing anything different? Obama hasn't passed any legislation regarding guns since he's been in office for the last 7 years. So how could they possibly be hearing that?
Again.
And my last point is, I beg your pardon, is the fact that, I don't know if you recall, when Obama first got elected, the gun sales went off the shelf.
Yes, they did.
Many of our white citizens were just terrified.
Yes.
You know, I don't know what, well, we know what the fear was, the fact that, you know, his race. And I still think that 7 years later, that still contributes to this insanity as far as these guns. I think he's been one of, and I think history will judge him well. He's been one of the best presidents we've had, dealing with the fact, certainly because he's had a Congress that fought him at every angle. Even when he was at the inauguration ball, 20 of them were meeting and deciding that we were going to vote against any legislation.
See, here's the deal,
Bill.
The problem is you read, okay? The problem is you read. The problem is you are intelligent, and the problem is that you're informed. One of my jobs as one of the jobs that I consider having as an activist is not to assume I am going to be only speaking to people like you, okay?
Sure.
Because that would be talking to the choir. I am not trying to talk to you. I need you to help me talk to others. And that is what we are here for. So, I mean, I appreciate your point of view. I agree with your point of view. And I hope that you'll join in keeping your point of view out there so that others feel not alone when they are putting out those points of view. So, Bill, I appreciate your call, my friend. You have a great...
Keep doing what you guys do. I love the show, and I try to contribute at every possibility.
I do appreciate that, sir. Bill, we appreciate it. You have a wonderful day, sir. Okay, let's go to Anthony. Anthony, how are you doing, my friend? Okay, let's go to line 4. Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. Let's go to that's all right. Let's go to Richard. Richard, come on in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with the last few callers any more than I do. I just want to say, gee, Texas, white, and I'm white. Don't get me wrong. I'm 60 years old, and I'm white, native Texan. But I want to say, gee, you know, Ted Cruz supporting John Wayne mentality, young, white, racist, gun carry youth. What could possibly go wrong? You know, it's just common sense ain't that common around here anymore.
Well, you just put a big smile on my face the way you actually said that, my friend. You just put a smile.
You know, it's going to be overturned. I don't know, overturned or rethought and voted out when enough people get killed by some moron dropping his gun in McDonald's and hitting it, you know.
Well,
I'll tell you what it's going to take.
Right.
Just like Rob Portman, who was anti-gay,
until his son turned out,
until his son came out.
Yes.
You know, and it's a damn shame these politicians, excuse my mouth, it's a shame these politicians, they're supposed to have their hand on the pulse of America. They don't get it until it happens at home.
Richard,
you know, when one of their kids get killed by some moron that has an open carry permit, drops his gun at McDonald's and shoots his kid or grandkid, and then he's going to get it. That's a damn shame.
Richard, let me tell you something. Like I told Bill before, one of the things is, you know, we have some very smart callers here. We have some very read and informed callers here. I wish some other callers would call as well so that we can talk and encourage them to kind of see what you see, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think in the long run we'll do that. But we have to keep on doing what we're doing. You're absolutely right. We're singing to the choir, but we can do more than sing to the choir by making sure we go out there and say these things not only on KPFT, but wherever we are. Anything else you want to add, Richard, before I go to Anthony on line 4?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day, sir. Let's go to Anthony on line number 4. Come on in, Anthony.
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now my question is, you mentioned the situation that happened in Kingwood.
Yes.
Where the gun was dropped.
Yes, sir.
In a situation like that, who's liable? And what can, as an open carry person, what can they be charged with? That's one question. And also, if a person who has an open carry permit is not allowed to go into an establishment that sells a certain percentage of alcohol,
right?
It's most of it. If that person goes to a Chili's, can they sit down and just consume as much alcohol as they want, or are they prohibited from having drinks?
You know, you have some very valid questions.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, those questions are really true. I mean, somebody goes into a Chili's that allows you to have, I don't know if Chili's allows it or not. Did you know? I don't know who allows it, but let's say they go into an establishment that serves alcohol that allows open carry. Yes. What happens when somebody gets drunk? Look. Those are the issues that that these types of things bring up for sure,
and there's
Anthony.
And there's enough people out there that are not stable that I know that have their concealed handgun. That's without it being open carry.
Not only that, there are people who simply, when they get mad, they act differently, and when they have a gun, they are actually even more emboldened.
Yes.
And those are the kind. I mean, most people are even more emboldened when they have, when they have a weapon. So, sir, I don't know. That's a real answer I can give you. As far as what happened in Kingwood, who is liable when that gun fell out of the person's holster and hurt that woman? Right. My hunch is that both the establishment and the person carrying the gun are likely liable. Okay?
So what could a person be charged with? I'm saying if he actually killed someone, if the person died in a situation
that's
like
involuntary manslaughter as far as I can see, but I am not a lawyer, so I'm just assuming. So I would just assume that's involuntary manslaughter, just like when you drive a car and hit somebody, you didn't expect to kill them, but they're dead. It's involuntary manslaughter. So, I mean, the thing about it is these are unnecessary happenings that just because we have something called the Second Amendment, and if you I don't know if you listened to my blog before or not, but the Second Amendment means a lot of different stuff. Myself, I'm a black dude. I'm a Latino black dude. Okay? If I am carrying a gun in Houston, Texas, I know that the cop is going to look very much differently at me than if Shannon, my engineer here, a white young lady, if she's open carry, they're going to think it's cute. If I'm open carrying, they're going to think, oh, we got to get him. I mean, I don't want to be facetious about it, but that's just reality. Am I wrong?
No.
I agree with you. That is wrong.
So I mean, open carry means a lot different. Look at the guys in Burns, Oregon. These guys are dudes with military type weaponry. Nobody's bothering them. Tamir Rice had a pellet gun. In less than 2 seconds, he was shot down. Mr. Walker III in Ohio in a Walmart. He was just holding a BB gun. He was trying to see if he was going to purchase it or not. He was shot dead. Okay, because somebody who looks a certain way with a gun doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Look at Waco. Waco, we had all those shootings. We know those guys were violent, but still there was no militia call. There was no National Guard or anything called. So Second Amendment means a lot different things to different people. I never felt that the Second Amendment personally, and this is just myself, that it meant anything to me. I will not carry. Because if I'm stopped by a cop and he says, do you have a gun? Oh, no. Because if I ever said that, the dynamics change. Anything else you want to add before I move on, Anthony?
No. Thank you for your show.
Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too.
Okay, let's go to line number 5 for, let's see, Joe. Come on in, Joe.
Hey, what's going on?
Talk to me, my brother.
Man, I have many issues with a lot of things, but man, the one that stuck out is sticking out right now, because I could talk about this with you forever. Is you said at the beginning of the segment, you said that people, non-white people are basically are not allowed to open carry or to carry guns, right? And I was wondering that that's unfounded. people don't discriminate on who can carry a
Oh,
gun.
no. I was misunderstood if that's what you heard, sir. Let me tell you what I meant. What I meant is that, what I really mean is as follows. I can open carry. There's no law that stops me from open carrying. I am a 210-pound black dude with a bald head. Okay? And if I put on a gun and walk down the streets of River Oaks or anywhere else, I can guarantee you the attention that I would get. Or let me assume, are you a white guy?
Yeah, I am, and I don't agree with you, man. I try to live in a post-racial world.
I understand. Yes,
I don't see people.
I know, sir. You're a good guy. I'm not. This is not about you. I know. I mean, you're calling this show. You're likely a good guy. Okay, so that's not the issue. The problem isn't you. The problem is society at large. And when the reason I gave examples in the blog, I don't know if you listened to the blog of the week that I gave before, is
I did. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and you see, your reality and my reality when it comes to confrontation with issues with, let's say, police officers and folks carrying guns, I see a different reality. When I see that when I talk about people not getting the benefit of the doubt, let me put you into context. First of all, I love what you said. You want to live in a post-racial society. I want to live in a post-racial society. I do. Okay, I don't have, and I can honestly say this from the depths of my heart. I have not a racist bone in my body, and anybody here at KPFT would tell you the same thing. But at the same time, when I walk out of this building, I'm walking out in a certain skin, and I always have to be cognizant about that. And there are certain things that I have to be cognizant about that you don't have to be. And what I ask for folks like you, okay, so folks like you, because you're a smart dude and you really want to live in a good society, is to understand where folks like myself and others are coming from. And that is to say, yes, I have the legal right to carry the gun. Tamir Rice, because he lived in Ohio, he should have been able to legally carry a gun. So when a cop came up to him, the cop should not have come guns a-blazing, because it's an open carry state. But
he didn't have it on his hip. He had it in his hand.
Yes, that is true. But again, we talk about in the Walmart store as well. And what I'm trying to get folks like yourself to see is there are, and I hope you see it, that the reaction that people have to open carry with different people, I mean, it's not you, it's just the way it is. And if more people understood or can empathize with that and see that, I think we can move a lot further, because once you can empathize with these issues, you can say, I see what you're saying. Now, how can we solve it?
I understand where you're going, but my answer to you is why don't more bald-headed black dudes open carry to get us past this problem?
I was going to put that in the blog. It's funny that you said that. I was going to write that in the blog, and I was going to say the problem is, like, for myself, I have a daughter, it's in school, I got to take care of. If I wanted to be a martyr to test it out, okay, I would do it, right? But I don't have the wherewithal to be a martyr right now to start that test, to say, do exactly what you're saying, because what you're saying is legitimate, right? Until we start changing things won't change. That's what you're saying. Well,
that's right.
Yeah, and look, I get what you're saying, brother. I get what you're saying, but it's a little bit deeper than that. Anything else?
Listen, let me just say a couple more things. For the four callers before me,
yes,
they talked about the insanity of the Second Amendment supporters.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about morons in King Louis.
Stop.
Yes,
stop.
I don't. When you guys
mm-hmm.
like blanket, gun people with those kind of statements, right? It automatically turned off and against you.
Joe, stop for a minute, please. I want to ask you one thing. Remember, I don't know if you heard the discussion that I had with the person where I said, I am trying to talk to other people, so therefore I am not going to assume. I'm not going. You didn't hear me call you insane or anything like that at all.
It was your caller, and you did straighten him out.
And what I'm saying is, and it's not about me straightening the caller out. It's about us learning. I'm in a group called coffeepartyusa.com. Okay, and what we try to do is we try to tell folks that we mostly think alike. We have a dialogue problem. And the dialogue problem is that we have a communication problem, how we communicate with each other. You and I don't agree on guns. You're probably like Jacob here, but we can talk and we can come to some kind of a middle ground, which is a good thing. But we have to first learn how to talk. So, brother, you have anything else to say?
This issue isn't about black, white, guns, yes or no. It's about protecting your loved ones.
Thank you.
Right? And I will protect my loved ones with every means available to me, and no one should deny me any tool I need to protect my family ever.
And I don't have a problem with your statement at all. That statement goes without saying. I feel the same way. I would do it without a gun. Maybe you'll do it with a gun, but I don't want your gun in my presence. That's all.
All right. When your previous caller said, he said no automatic weapons or semi-automatic weapons should ever be sold. That's an assault to my desire and my right.
Okay, Joe, look, thank you. Please keep listening. Please keep calling. That is how we get things done, having the dialogue. Okay, brother?
See you next week.
You have a good one now. Take care. I got to go to traffic break. Shannon is kicking me off. But, folks, all of you guys still on the line, I am coming to each one of you, so hang on there.
Okay, thank you, Egberto. It is 71 degrees and scattered clouds here in the heart of Montrose. Tonight, there'll be a few passing clouds, and there's about 10% chance of rain, so very low, but a low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow, that chance will go up just a tad to 20%. That's for Friday, and partly to mostly cloudy skies. And tomorrow evening, there's about a 90% chance of rain, so beware. Thunderstorms during the evening. And then skies will turn partly cloudy overnight. And there's a possibility of hail tomorrow night, so beware. And a low of 54 degrees. Let's take a brief look at our roadways. Slow going on the West Loop in both directions from Forness to the Katy Freeway. And on NASA Road 1 outbound at Space Center Boulevard, there's a multiple vehicle accident affecting the left and center lane, backing up traffic from St. John to Kirby, but that's likely to become more of a problem because that's 6 vehicles involved. Stop and go on the Southwest Freeway and inbound from Shepherd to the Gulf Freeway. And on 288, inbound at 59, there's a disabled vehicle affecting the left shoulder, and traffic is backed up to Holcomb. That's a look at your Houston area weather and traffic. I'm Shannon McCurchie, and you're listening to Politics Done Right with our very own Egberto Willies on 90.1 KPFT Houston.
Muchísimas gracias, mi hermana. Okay, folks, let's go to line number 6 with Barry. Is this Barry?
The Barry.
Is this the Barry, my brother from a different ideology?
Talk about a convoluted mess. That last call in my stomach. This is what happens, though, when you're not strong and clear on your position. I support the Democrats on gun control, but the Democrats have been weak.
Say that again? Wait. Say that again?
Allow me to finish, sir. Everyone else is allowed the floor.
No, I didn't hear you. I wanted you to repeat what you said, Barry. Come on.
I said I support the Democrats in gun control, but the Democrats have been weak. The president's press conference lasted 7 minutes. He came out and said, I support the Second Amendment, the Third Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Seventh Amendment, the Eighth, Ninth, and Tenth Amendment. I support all of the amendments. I'm not cowing down to the gun nuts. These are the new rules on gun laws. You don't like to take me to court. I thought the president and the Democrats are weak on gun control. Some of us in the Republican Party think these gun nuts are an embarrassment. Even the NRA came out against the open carry at first. And even it kowtowed.
Barry, you surprised me.
I want anyone to think that all Republicans support these gun nuts, because we don't. We find these people embarrassing.
Barry?
But I also find embarrassing, though, is the president being weak on it. The president has to rationalize and apologize what he's doing.
Okay.
He's saying that we got a problem with gun violence in America. I'm executive ordering these new laws.
Wow.
Anybody don't like it, go to hell.
Barry.
I give a damn about your comfort, about your agreement.
Barry.
But you use the word.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You also use the word comfort and agreement. Now, you need to stop two things.
Well.
We need strong, clear action. No, excuse me. We need your position on things to be strong, clear, and consistent. Once you stake out your position, hold your ground.
Okay. Barry, let me tell you, I am surprised at you. I'm really surprised at your call, my brother. I am really surprised at your call. In as much as you just about called me and the whole Democratic Party and whomever weak, thank you for your position, because I am actually proud of your position. But let me just say one thing. Please be careful. because somebody is trying to be agreeable and civil does not mean weakness. In fact, sometimes that is much stronger than just being wrong and strong. Or
You can't
right
be
and strong.
groveling for agreement. That's
Okay.
not work.
Thank you, Barry. You're a good man on this issue. All right?
Thank you.
You have a great day, brother. Okay, let's go to Brother John. Come on in, Brother John, line 2.
Berto, how you doing today?
All right, talk to me, Brother John.
Hey, sorry about Brother Zinn. Start up there. All of my condolences on Brother Zinn.
Yes, he was a good guy. I
Yeah,
didn't know him
yeah,
very well,
yeah.
but I understand from everybody who knew him
Yeah,
that
he's
he
a
was an
voice
inspiration.
to me, basically. But yes, brother's gone, brother's looking down. Peace out. So, he's in a good place, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me see. To start off, I'm a gun owner, okay? I'm out here in the country.
Right.
I used to scare off coyotes, and I also do a little hunting. I am actually a poor man. It actually does, kind of help with the groceries.
Sure.
So, yeah, right. But it's also calling the herd and everything. We're very, me and my wife are very, she's almost Buddhist in her ways. But we're very much naturalists. Everything out here is pretty,
Right.
Right. So, it's when someone...
Well, I hope...
But,
yeah, go ahead.
As far as open carry, if the establishment is serving alcohol, they cannot.
Yes.
They cannot do that. Even on a concealed carry, I do believe they're supposed to leave that in their glove box.
Okay.
Any establishment where alcohol is served, that's the ticket there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Second Amendment right. I love how Ted Cruz and all these other scaredy cats are and all the time. They stop just short of where it says a well regulated.
Right.
Okay, I'm not even going to go to the militia part, but
Exactly.
well regulated.
Right. Militia.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right, fine. You get in a car accident, you harm somebody, you have liability insurance. You actually harm somebody with the gun or whatever, you have liability insurance.
Exactly.
There's not a darn thing wrong with that, and it's more money for the insurance fees. So, what's the problem? 90% of the NRA card carriers, I'm not one, by the way.
Right.
Well, for ID checks. They have nothing against it.
Yes.
Nothing.
That's what the caller before was trying to say. Because I could hear that he's a gun-carrying person and he wants his gun, everything. But what he tried to say is he doesn't want people to be painted with the same brush. Just like yourself. You're a gun carrier person as well. You don't want to be saying, and that is the middle ground that I'm trying to reach.
Right.
Exactly.
If somebody came out here to hunt a deer or even the delicious rabbits that we have out here, and they showed up with an Uzi or an AR-15,
right.
We'd laugh at them.
Absolutely. Hey, Brother John.
What the heck is this? Plus, if you need that many bullets to ward off whoever's attacking you and your family, you don't have enough bullets.
Exactly.
Okay?
Brother John, look, I'm full of calls now, and I want to get to everybody, so I'm going to try to limit everybody to about a minute or so.
I hear you.
So, look, thank you very much for calling, and you keep listening, keep calling. And remember, folks, tell folks about KPFT. We need to increase these listenerships, okay?
Oh, yeah. Hey, peace out. Love everybody.
Thank you, Brother John.
Pray for peace. All right.
You have a great one.
Bye, Shannon.
Take care, buddy.
Bye, Brother John.
Let's go to, I think that's Alan in line number 3. Come on in, Alan. How you doing, my brother?
Yo, Egberto.
Talk to me, sir.
Yes, I wanted to inject into the commentary thought process here the consequences that most people don't think past the target.
Right. Yes.
Now, in an ideal world, I would allow guns on limited locations for target practice or that sort of thing. But for self-defense, this age of technology, we should have developed some kind of a projectile that disables without being lethal. And in any case, what I'm getting to is when you're firing in self-defense, if you miss your target or even if your bullet goes through your target, that bullet continues on. You have ricochets.
Right.
You can have people in the background.
Right.
And, people aren't thinking about that.
Absolutely.
People who just want to make noise for celebration fire guns into the air.
It's crazy.
With no thought of the fact that the bullets have to come down somewhere.
Alan, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. You're right. And I'm in the 30-second minute now because I have to run to other people. So thank you very much for calling, my friend. Let's go to line number 4 with Daniel. Daniel, you got 30 seconds, brother. Daniel, you're on. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I guess you don't want to talk. So let's go to line number 5 with Chris. Come on in, Chris.
Hello.
Talk to me, Chris.
Yeah, I would just like to say that we just passed the 1-year anniversary of the attacks on the offices of Charlie Hebdo in Paris.
Absolutely.
And it was very close to within a year from the attacks at the concert and the soccer stadium in Paris.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to know, there's no greater cry for arms control in Paris at the moment. There's no one screaming for arms control. There's no one yelling that we need to tighten X amount of importation. It's not there because people with ill will find a vehicle. Now, do I agree that there should be some type of more communication between people so that we know who should? Yeah, of course. But the thing about this is we're living in a world right now where everything is hyper and taken to the X amount, and so people automatically run to the possible worst case scenario. The gentleman talking about earlier about people carrying a gun, don't consider backgrounds and things like that. Once again, he's doing just what the other guy was speaking about, painting people with a very broad brush, and that's not true. And I guarantee you that right now there are people in Germany, because of the incidents that just happened, who wish that they had a Second Amendment right.
Right.
And I hate to put it like that, but if someone's never been in a situation like that, it's kind of hard to explain to them the depth of the severity and how something like that will scar someone for the rest of their life.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I absolutely understand, and I also understand what you said about Paris.
As someone who's carried a firearm since they have been of legal age, and I am now 42 years old, I have never had a single instance. You don't display a weapon. You do not threaten with a weapon.
Right.
That is a last resort. You are not using it to incapacitate someone or a less than lethal response. It is a lethal response that you use to save your life or the life of someone who cannot defend himself.
Look,
and that's what I'd like to close with. I think you're doing great work. Please keep it up.
Thank you very much, Chris. You have a wonderful day, and keep listening and tell folks about KPFTs. I appreciate your call. Let's go to Chad on line number 1. Chad, come on in, my friend.
Again, condolences for Zim.
Thank you, my dear friend.
No problem. I always enjoy the show. Didn't always agree with him, but I always enjoy the show. I was going to call and talk to you about a point you made in your, I guess you're reading a blog post or something.
Yes, sir.
Where you're talking about the Waco shooting, and you said, I think you said, the National Guard wasn't called in. Instead, the bikers were leisurely arrested.
Yes.
Because they were a bunch of white guys.
Yes.
In fact, there's been a cover-up on that, but the information is slowly leaking out on that. 4 of the guys were killed by .223 caliber, and the cops were there monitoring it. That means in that amount of time, they were scoped in on these guys as it happened.
Okay.
And so 4 of them, at least 4, were killed by the police.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so look into that. It's a real interesting issue. And you were drawing some equivalency to the Tamir Rice incident.
Yes.
Just one thing about that is before the cops arrived, it is an unfortunate thing that happened, but before the cops arrived, the call that they had gotten was that he was running around pointing gun at people.
Yes.
That's not open carry. No. That's menacing.
I know. Look,
but your example about the guy at Walmart, that was totally ridiculous. Open carry, he wasn't menacing anybody.
So I think you're if I understand you correctly, you're agreeing with the Walmart issue. You may kind of disagree with the Tamir Rice thing, and you're kind of neutral on the Waco thing because you think there was some infiltration with the cops. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. There's also some witness accounts that some of the Cossacks that were sitting in the restaurant, a couple of them took off their vests and put on badges and ran out with their handguns when the shooting started.
Got it.
So it could be more than the 4.
Okay.
That's just judging by the .223 caliber.
Need more research, sir, but I appreciate you for the side that you bring. Keep on listening. Keep on calling. I need to get to the other callers. I got 3 more to finish before the end of the show, okay?
Absolutely. Take it easy.
You have a wonderful day, sir. Let's go real quickly to number 6, Keith. And, Keith, you're only going to have about 20, 30 seconds. Go ahead, Keith. Thank you.
All righty. First off, glad you guys are in the area.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. And another thing, my question is, with this open carry law, what effect do you think, I'm not a supporter personally, but what type of effect do you think that it will have on the Black Panther movement?
Well, I tell you, it would be interesting if the Black Panthers, what they did is started open carrying, because they have, to put it bluntly, they have the pelotas to go out there and do that, okay? But I would love to see that happen and see the reaction to that and see how people react. So the answer to that, for me, to you, is I don't know, but I would love to see that, to see what the response would be. But again, I appreciate your calls, sir. I have 2 more calls I need to get. Keith, I'm sorry that we can't have a lot more time. So give me 10 seconds and then I got to let you go.
All righty.
You have a great day, sir. Thank you much. Let's go to Tony on line number 2. Tony, come on in, my friend.
So, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, one of the questions I had for you guys is, I want to know how many of the mass shooters in the last 5 years had actually bought their guns legally. If I'm not mistaken, none of these people actually bought guns through the legal system with the background check or anything.
Actually,
I think all of these people,
I know. I have the answer.
Had mental problems and mental issues.
Well,
you know?
let me just say, first of all, the reality is a lot of them actually bought these guns legally. And also, as far as the mental problems, I can't answer a lot of the mental problems, because it seems like when a certain group of people commit these crimes, we can always find, first of all, I think committing crimes is a mental problem, okay? I mean, somebody who's able to just cold-bloodedly kill somebody, I think they're ill, okay? Because I know I couldn't do it of sane mind. So anything else you have to add real quick, sir, because I really have to get to the last caller?
No, just that I don't think any of these people actually that got a hold of firearms actually bought them and actually had background checks.
Go to my
I don't
website.
think that would have done anything.
EgbertoWillies.com. Yes, they did have some purchase legal. But thank you for calling, sir. Keep listening and give us a call back earlier next time. Let's go to line. Last call. Let's go to line. Everett, come on in, Everett. You got about 30 seconds.
Hi, I just wanted to say, wherever I'm an African-American male. I was actually born in Chicago but live here in Texas. And wherever they have strong gun laws, Chicago, even Mexico has strongest gun laws, you had the worst violence.
Okay.
The safest areas in the world, Switzerland, even if you look around the United States where we own guns, you have less violence.
Okay, let me just say one thing. That statement isn't quite accurate. I gave all the numbers in the beginning of the blog post. If you please go to Egberto Willies, or actually go to politicsdoneright.com. I have the actual numbers there. So you can actually look at the reality and not what the NRA is putting out. So please do that, my friend, and give us a call back next week. We're going to talk about it, but I got to get off the air in a little bit. So I appreciate your call, folks. For all of you that gave me the pleasure of listening, thank you very much for being a part of Politics Done Right. Stay tuned for the news after this show. My name is Egberto Willies, and this is Politics Done Right. We're out.
Thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. You can personally reach me by sending an email to egberto@politicsdoneright.com. Remember, Egberto is spelled E-G-B-E-R-T-O. Change starts with you. 90.1 KPFT gives you information not tainted by corporate interest. Please visit kpft.org and contribute. Let's ensure continued access to real information and news remain available to all. Again, thank you very much for listening to Politics Done Right.